Morning, Jeff from RV Diagnostics. The cold weather is here. I received this heater from a member that I helped. She installed a brand new one, and I said, okay, I'll help you. What'd you do with that old one? She mailed it to me. I appreciate that. I'm going to go over some. One is preventive maintenance. The Suburban heater, propane heater, is a little different. It's enclosed in an all-metal box, which I don't think I have to show you the box. It's up there somewhere, so I just take them out of the box when I get them. All right, so this is a Suburban SF, Suburban Furnace, 35,000 BTU. All right, and then there's a serial number. The serial number identifies what was done to it at the time of production. So what we're going to do is look at something. This is the heat exchanger, okay? And this is where you're supposed to look down in and see the flames. I don't know how you're going to do that when it's inside a metal box. But anyway, it's a bench test is what it is. All right, so I want you to look in the fresh air. Look at that. You see that? See all the fur? All right, that's from fur babies in there. And what it does, one, it builds up a lot, and it also imbalances the squirrel cage, that finned blower cage there. All right, you can see it, look, they're floating around, and maybe I'll pull one out. Here we go. Here, I'll get my fingers nasty. There's a little bit of it right there. All right, and if it does come loose, boom, the air blows out of here, right here, goes across the heat exchanger. The flame is blowing through here. All right, and it goes across the heat exchanger, and it blows out a plenum or a manifold, or where your hoses hook up to your RV and feeds you heated air. So it draws it in from here. And here's the number one problem with this. All Suburbans, most likely, the ones I've worked on, here's the control board. Well, let's put it right next to the vibration and heat. There you go. Let's do that. That's what the two things that electronic boards don't like, vibration and heat. All right, and there's the reset switch on the inside. So there you go. Inside, this is the connector that goes out through that metal cabinet, and this is in your RV. This is what you see. These two are thermostat. The red is power, and the yellow is ground in this case, okay? So what am I getting to? Well, if you take this out, the best way to test is a bench test. And I have that right over there. You see me do that before on a couple refrigerators, right? They're real easy to make. It's a 40-pounder, so I ain't gotta, go to the store all the time and get propane. All right, so let's see. Now, please, folks, when it's summertime, that's when you pull this heater out and clean it up. Not winter. It's hard on you. What I want to talk about too is, now, there's two things that have to happen. One, you're going to command the blower motor on. Say, hey, turn on the heater. No, the blower motor comes on. This is the over temp switch. That means that this heat exchanger got too hot and it opened. All right, so it's closed right now. That means the voltage flows through here, like the bridge, the draw bridge is closed. All right, so that's black and a white wire, right? Oh, wait a minute. Did we see? No, I thought that was corrosion. It's a painted dot. All right. Now, that black and white wire, here's the black, comes over to here, all the way from there. This is your sail switch everybody talks about. I'm trying to be quiet. Now listen, ready? You can hear it click. This one's sticking. Watch. I'll push it down. That's supposed to pop right back up. All right. Now, that comes out. It's sitting in there like that, right? And you can see the little screws that hold it in. Yes, you have to take this cover off right here. This one, this screw, and this screw to get to this sail switch, okay? But what I'm doing is the flow. So the red one comes over to the board. All right, so it goes out. Does it go out? All right, ready? So the board has to see a toggle, folks. This switch, oh, I got air, whoa, and it closes. And I don't have air. The motor stops and opens. So the board has to see a 0 to 1, off to an on, 0 to 12, and then when the blower stops at 12 to the 0. Well, this thing sticks because you got all that hair up in there. All right. You get my drift about preventive maintenance. Now, that's what makes these switches stick. All that hair. I guarantee when we pull this apart, you're going to see it. All right. I'm not going to do it right away. I'm just trying to focus on preventive maintenance and how nasty this one was. All right. There's still like ungodly amount of stuff in there. I'm afraid to touch it. There you go. Look at that. Remember, it imbalances the motor. This is a metal one, squirrel cage. A lot of them are coming plastic now, so this is an older one. All right, so I just went over the flow. You tell the blower motor to come on through the thermostat. The power and ground are there. The blower comes on. This sail switch doesn't toggle from off to on, okay, because the air blew against it. See, it's got like a little sail on it, or a paddle, I call it. Boo, boo. All right, and it sits like this. So if this one sits like this, all right, right there, so it's got to go up. So this one's hanging upside down. So this still might work. I can tell because this female connector, spade connector's out. This one's in. And then there's the bolts, the screws that hold it in. All right. Now what I want to talk about is this. What about if you could take this board, put it outside that metal box, and troubleshoot better, okay? You can. Here it is. It's called Extend-A-Life. It's by Dinosaur Electronics. There's the telephone number, all right? And I think it had a part number, but don't get me lying. It's an Extend-A-Life, okay? There you go. And look at it. There's the blue wire, there's the red wire, there's the brown wire, there's the yellow wire. Look, red, blue, brown, yellow. So you're going to make extensions on this. Then you're going to bring this out, and it has a 5-amp fuse. And look at that. That little connector right there, power, no connection, valve, sense, ground. All right, so let me pause. I'm going to pull this connector off right here. So you hook it up. They say this board doesn't fit every model, so you have to modify them a little bit. All right, because some of them don't sense. It don't have the sense wire. The red, black, right over here where it was overheat limit switch, white. All right, so it doesn't have it, okay? But if you get with me, Jeff from RV Diagnostics, we can go over this, all right, folks? It's basics to me, but to you, you're learning. So what I'm trying to say is, you extend these wires, you feed these wires here, you make these longer, you put this board in there, okay? You take this control board out. All right, right there. It's got the igniter on it. This even has, look, a spark plug wire. And it comes with the extension. See? The yellow, the red, the brown. And it's got all kind of different ones there because there's different models that it fits. All right, and there's the spark plug wire, the thicker one, the red one, the one that'll zap you. I noticed some of you are doing some of the testing, like some of you played around with cars or whatever, lawnmowers, you see the spark, you try to make a gap. Well, don't do that on this one, okay? Please, because it stresses out the coil real quickly, all right? And it'll burn the board up or burn the coil up. Maybe you could put like an 1/8 inch gap, right? Because it's got an 1/8 inch gap down on the igniter. No more than an 1/8 inch. That's why you see them, they get hot and they're down in the flame and all. So it gets hot and everything expands, and over time, like old spark plugs, every 1,000 miles it would expand about 1,000. The gap would get bigger and bigger, and this overworks that coil. We're just going basic stuff for a heater today. Yes, this is Suburban, but that was the same way. They all have safety circuits. They all have power and grounds. They all have control boards. All right, so it's a nice little kit, right? It helps you get into the thing a lot faster. Extend the life kit 16. I got the 24 inch. Serial number EAL 00431. All right. If you know a little bit about basic electricity, you can make them all work. You can put this board, control board right there, further away. And outside the metal box. So it'll be over this way. Okay, over here where this white box is. And you can troubleshoot everything, folks. All right, so there it is. There's the old board. I didn't take it off yet. Here's the extended life board, which would take the place of that board in there. All right, and then here's the 24-inch kit. Gives you 2 foot to go away. That's that board in there. Now, remember I was talking about this igniter right here, this coil? It does 2 purposes. One, it ignites, and then the spark igniters in the flame, and it generates a little bit of voltage back here. So please don't overstress this. Keep your gap at 1/8 inch. Keep it clean, the igniter. All right, so I'll show you what I'm talking about here in a little bit. All right, so here we go. This is off a water heater, but it's still the same. There's the spark plug wire right here. That's the igniter. And the igniter has an 1/8 inch gap. This goes straight to ground. If you notice, it's welded right to the metal there. So, and this is in the flame. So this generates a little feedback voltage, a resistance. It's a balance circuit. You don't have to worry about it. All right. That way, it's a flame sensor. It says, hey, I got a flame. Keep the gas valve on. So what did we do today? All right. What I'm about ready to do is I'm going to take this off to show you that switch, and we're going to see what it looks like. Okay, folks, dun, 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 dun. Look at all the stuff, the hair, the fuzz that's on there. Let's blow it up a little bit. That makes that switch mess up. So the blower blows it, right? Right there. Ooh. Now these are a little bit tougher to stick because they're hanging upside down. So the blower's blowing this way, going that direction, okay? But this is what I'm talking about. So you got, right there, you can see the stuff in there. You have to, in the summer, when it's hot, get up in here, vacuum that out, and actually get this out. Because look how they got it screwed in there from the back side. Nice. But this is a little bit easier. This cover comes out. Suburban and Atwood heaters, they married up. I think the one bought the other out around 2014. Don't beat me up on the date as much. So some of these just have this exhaust system on the outside, like a rectangle going up and down. Some have a complete door. We call that an open door model. If it doesn't have a door and it only has this exhaust, oh man, I got that thing on like big time. All right, if it just has the rectangle manifold, vertical, intake and exhaust, this being intake, the plastic, the exhaust is metal, all right, then it's a door. So I don't know exactly what model you have, but they all have in common. It doesn't really matter what model. But remember, The extension board, it works. You can modify them to work on any system. It just got to be able to sense the toggling 0 to 1, 1 to 0. 0 volts to 12, 12 volts to 0. The board has to see that, okay? Pretty nasty heater, huh? Well, it's pretty good shape, actually. This one's a little bit easier to move. It's an SF35F Suburban Furnace, 35,000 BTU. Thank you very much. It's Jeff from RV Diagnostics. I'm just going over some preventive maintenance stuff on heaters, showing you stuff. Remember, what's the problem with propane gas? Well, that's kind of explosive, and it sinks to the bottom of the floor of your RV or outside on the ground. 2, it has a lot of moisture. So that's why you have to take this out and clean it up, okay? And recap it. You just pull the thing out, do a good job, get yourself, a low pressure regulator, right? Some of you got your barbecue grill set up, so that's already low pressure, right? You got a quick connect, but this here, I just got this. And I keep mine capped off, and all right, but this, some of you have the barbecue propane grill that you just hook a hose up to, and it's already got a low pressure regulator coming off your RV. It depends what configuration you have. Please get with me. I'll help you understand it. Preventive maintenance, a lot more people are living in these full time, all right, for whatever reason. And the other thing is the cost. Folks, these things cost, and the parts. So please take this thing apart in the summer, clean it up good. I'm sorry, I just got busy this summer fixing a bunch of RVs. I finally got back to mine. Yeah, we're going out 3 or 4 weeks in this thing. It's October. We like the cool weather. All right, thank you. This is Jeff from RV Diagnostics. What's the motto? Test, not guess. You know what the other stuff is. Remember, there's a garage here. You can come learn all kind of stuff. Ample enough tools to help you learn. Chemicals, you have to replace them and all that. Yes, I charge. I have 50 amp water and sewer back. I got tons of firewood. I load that thing up with firewood and I take that out with me. I ain't buying nothing. And no, it don't hurt the mileage that much. That thing gets about 6 miles in a gallon anyway, no matter what I do. 6 to 8, no matter what I do to it. Thank you once again, Jeff from RV Diagnostics. Please subscribe, give me a thumbs up.